Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wanted to start a side hustle or a business, something like that? I work with a lot of people who do. And the other day I had a client say to me, Scott, I just want to do what I do. Why is it so hard for me to find a way to get customers to pay me? I've heard that before, and I get it. Technically, it's a real challenge to set things up, which is why I told him to go to Square, our sponsor today. Now, I have recommended Square a lot over the years, mostly because they really give you the freedom to focus. I give it to a lot of people starting out. It's easy. They can grow with it. There's no need to change later. That's a big thing, by the way. And if you have an established company, it'll work for you as well, too. It gives you analytics. You can make smart decisions. It connects with our apps. We need that these days. And frankly, it's a great value. Transparent, no hidden fees, no contracts. If you were my client, I would tell you check out Square, and you should. Square helps you run your business more smoothly, bringing payments, operations, and insights together in one place so you are ready for whatever's next. So right now, listeners can get up to $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com/go/dailyboost. That's SQUARE.com/go/dailyboost. Get started with Square and build a setup that works the way you do.
I didn't like what you said, Odin pauses, about the future. This is the love story of real Hinge couple Odin and Edward, written and read by me, Curtis Garner. Listen to the free audiobook now.
Uh-oh. It seems I pushed the wrong theme music button. Well, that's okay. I've gone back a couple of months. It's kind of happy sounding. I kind of like this. But that happens in life sometimes. You click the wrong thing or you click the right thing and something happens, right? Today we're going to talk about clicks.
I need a boost. I need a daily boost. I need a boost. I need a daily boost.
You've been clicked. We all have. Don't worry about that. It is the Daily Boost from motivationtomove.com. My name is Scott Smith. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for, by the way, the very kind notes about me being sick. I had COVID. I guess I still do. It's not contagious anymore. I've had it like 4 times. I know when it's coming. It scratches my throat. Then it makes me sleep for a couple of days. Then it starts to go away. And it's starting to go away now. I feel pretty good. A little bit sloppy in the nasal passages. So I apologize for that because a few will probably slip through this microphone today. But show must go on, right? So today, an origin story, if you will. And this is about me, but don't worry, it's actually about you. I want to tell you where something came from and why I'm actually here. A lot of people wonder why I do this show. What's my thing? Are you trying to sell something to me? You're trying to sell coaching? Well, of course, yes, I want clients, absolutely. But ultimately, that's not my driver. You don't do a show for 20 years if you don't have a certain driver that you naturally do and get out of bed. So what would get me out of bed every single day to come and do this show? Actually, it's just a bit of curiosity. I've always wanted to help people and to get what they want in life, to move to the next level, whatever that is in all areas of life. And I understood it was a very simple concept. But the problem is most people get overburdened by all the avenues and the pathways that they can take to get there. And I learned this when I started this program 20 years ago. Give you frameworks, give you blueprints, give you paths, give you methods, give you ways, right? I learned all that. And what do you all do? Well, you're all good note takers. I can tell you that. And very early on, I realized I don't want to give people note-taking moments. There is a place and a time for that. Instead, what I'd like to do is give you an eye-opening moment, a millisecond in time where you go, oh, I got it. So much so that you maybe even stop taking the note. Have you ever done that? Where you're writing notes and you're listening and suddenly something clicks and you sit back and go, oh man, I'm glad I'm here. The trick is the click. And the more I got into this world, the more I started coaching people, the more I recognized that my job is basically pattern recognition. And then I come back around with a few changes in how I speak. And if I can covertly get you to make a decision on your own without me overtly having to tell it to you, then it's going to stick a whole lot deeper. This is a typical coaching concept. Get the client to kind of figure out their own answer. So I pass out clicks. You ask what I do every single day here? Every single program I do is very simple. I want to give you a click. That's it. Because I know if I can give you a click, you'll break free. Now, what does it feel like before you have that click? It could be frustration. You could be a really capable, smart person. Say, I figure everything out. I can't figure this out. I say it. Other people say it all the time. You could be just stalled or stuck. I don't like to use those words because I don't believe that's the case. I usually think you're not stalled or stuck. I think you're still thinking about it. You just haven't gotten done thinking about it yet. What I try to do is get you to go, oh, that's it. The millisecond in time when it just makes sense, the aha moment. That's what the show's all about. And ultimately, I believe that most motivation, most success comes down when you know what to do. Most people, they want to do something, but they can't actually explain it. So if I can come and say it this way, you go, oh, that makes sense to me. So that's what I do on these shows every single day. It was kind of interesting this morning because I'm on a client call, and I did tell Tim I would be talking about him today. I won't say his name. I'm not going to go in a lot of detail about this, but I will say he's a smart guy, runs some businesses, does really, really well up in the New York area. And I had great conversations with him over time. And we were chatting a little bit today, and he asked me a question. If you recall yesterday, I had made a comment on the show where I said my friend Joel Comm had talked about using AI. He said, I have more open projects now than I ever had before in my entire life. And my client today, that resonated with him. We got talking about that. I said, yeah, it's kind of a thing right now. Everybody can do more, so they try to do more, and it's making us busier than ever. And he leaned back in his chair and he said to me, when do I get to do what I want to do? And I smiled. I didn't see it coming. And yet I've heard it 1,000 times before. It was a bit of a click moment for him when he asked that question out loud. When do I get to do what I want to do? And so we joked about it for just a couple of minutes. And I said, well, based on how we're talking right now, the answer would be never. I know, Scott, that's so motivational and so coaching. But again, you see him light up. He leaned over and this time he took a note. It wasn't a click moment, but it was a note that said, basically, if I don't change, I never get what I want. It was a moment that opened his eyes. Have you ever said, when do I get to do what I want to do? Now, not going into specifics about him, but mostly everybody I know is most of us have so many things on our plate. The answer is you'll never get what you want to do because you're not going to get rid of what you're doing. There's another answer to that as well. I would contend that what you're doing is pretty close to what you want to be doing anyway. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. There are very few people who aren't doing what they like to do. You don't know me, Scott. Yeah. Listen, if it was that bad, you'd leave. Nobody leaves something good. If you've been sticking to the way you're doing things for a while, as Dr. Phil would say, it's working for you somehow, right? So I would say you're probably already doing what you want to do. It's just not what you've been thinking about doing. And if you keep doing what you're doing right now, you're not going to get what you want, but isn't that what you see? It's confusing, doesn't it? This personal growth stuff, man, it'll mess with you. Can you believe it? August is already here, and it's not going to be long before that autumn rush hits every single one of us. Now, one thing I do this time of year is I update my wardrobe, the things I wear, and I love Quince. Now, let me be honest. Quince is my sponsor, and also I never shopped online at all until they said, Scott, try it. So I did, and now that's kind of what I do, and they're still a sponsor, so it's awesome. Quince specializes in everyday staples. Personally, I buy a lot of shirts, dress, polos, and tees. I really like the ultra soft organic tees. They also have premium denim and chinos, about $60, with fit, structure, and high-quality fabrics you'd expect from a luxury designer brand. And by the way, everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They work directly with ethical factories and cut out the middleman, so you're paying for a high quality, not the brand markup. Something that will surprise you, too, when you go to the website. It's not just about clothing. Quince has everything from hotel-quality bedding and bath essentials to premium cookware and travel must-haves. Very cool stuff. Quince, I'm a happy customer. You should be one too. Upgrade your every day. Download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers or go to quince.com/dailyboost. Get free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and the UK too. That's QUINCE.com/dailyboost. So we kind of played with this a little bit, and I realized we had a click moment. The trick is the click. It's at millisecond time. It wasn't one that I even talked about too much. I saw it going on. I saw it happening, and I didn't want to close the door too fast. So from a coaching standpoint, I wanted it to breathe a little bit. When he said, well, when do I get to do what I want to do? I didn't just jump in and say, never. I waited. We just chatted a little bit. I said, well, the truth is probably never if you keep doing this. And then the chat kept going on because these clicks are happening. He's beginning to recognize something. And if I were to give you, and he'll hear this, I'm going to say hi. He'll hear this. The look on his face when he asked that question, when do I get to do what I want to do, was heartbreaking. It was a moment where he recognized something. And when I put the punctuation and said never, it made it even more powerful. And then I had a silly question. I was going to toss out another click. Just toss it out there and see what's going to happen. I said, so I have a question for you. I know it's silly, but what do you want to do? And Yeah, it didn't really happen. He didn't know. He didn't know what he wanted to do. I said, well, it's impossible to know what you want to do when you're busy doing everything else. And remember, I think a lot of what all of us do in our day-to-day life, we really like. It's certain things that we don't like, and we need to get rid of those things. And that ultimately became the prescription. It became, okay, well, let's do this. Let's get a few things out of the way. Let's clear the deck. Give us some space, because we can't possibly think about what we want to do if we don't have some clear space. I don't want to say clarity. We need a space to think. I could probably resonate with you right now saying, do you need more time to think? If you could just get some time to think and figure stuff out, if you get everything done so you could actually have some time to yourself, it would work, right? That's the answer. So we kind of clear the deck. We don't get rid of things. We just get things done, put it out of the side. And then we get real about time management and everything else. We start to figure this stuff out. I promise you, if you're frustrated by when do I get to do what I want to do, and you're waiting for that to happen, the answer is probably never if you just keep doing what you're doing, and probably faster than you think if you start thinking a little bit differently. This show is for that, to make you think about that. Wait a second. If I did just stop doing this and instead did that, what would happen? And the question of what do I really want to do? I will always contend that you're mostly doing the stuff you really want to do right now anyway. There's a few things you don't like and some other things you'd like to do, but for the most part, life is pretty much the way you want it. So that you don't have a lot of incentive to do other stuff, do you? If everything's pretty good, you just don't. But there are some things you'd like to maybe modify a little bit. But you won't have that answer until you start to get stuff out of the way. This was 2 shows in one. So I kind of went into the story of him and when do you get to do what you want to do? But ultimately what it came down to is a click. It came down to you manufacturing away. Maybe you've had one today. I'm guessing more than a few people on this show today are going click, 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 click. You may not know what to do with it yet, and that's okay. If you have just an inkling of something that clarifies whatever's going on in your brain just a little bit, what we've done is moved you just a little bit. And that's all I have to do. If I can get you to move just a little bit, I can get you to the next click and the next click and the next click. And that's called momentum, and that works. So if you ever listen to the show and you ever say, what's Scott up to? What's he trying to do? It's pretty simple. I'm passing out clicks. The trick is the click. It's that millisecond in time. And if I'm you, I'm looking throughout the course of my day at anything I possibly can that will give me a little bit of a click, a little insight to how I'm actually feeling, what's really going on. And if I figure that out, then I'm good. And yes, it's a continuous nonstop search. So just relax into it and enjoy the ride. And I will see you tomorrow.